Hi there, welcome to Elm Colors. I'm Erica. Today we are continuing in our alphabet series, the How I Color alphabet series, and today is letter J, and J is for jewel. There are a couple different kinds of jewels that I see regularly, and even though I thought that I colored a whole bunch, I could only find a few examples, and of course everything that I found was in Hanna Karlzon. There is one little Johanna Basford one that I did, but everything else is in Hanna. So that being said, I'm going to show you just a few of the examples. So this page is got one type of jewel. Well, no, it's got both of them, I guess. So I either think of, there can either be faceted jewels or like smooth jewels to me. So the faceted, you know, are more like gems. But this is a good example of how to color both of those. So here's your smooth ones here and here. And then here's the ones that are like the faceted ones. Let's see, I've got more in here. I know that I do. Just take me a second to get through all of the pages. Nope, sorry. Hold on just a sec. Here's one. I've got that little diamond there that the crab is holding. And then this page is the one that has all of the different shapes, but they're all faceted jewels. And I really liked how they all turned out. So, do I have another one? I don't know if I do. I know that I have several pages marked that I want to show you guys, or that I want to color with you all, but I don't think I have another. There's not a jewel in that one, is there? No, not really. Yeah, so let me show you this other example from Johanna Basford. And this is one that I did with alcohol markers. So here's all kinds of different gems, and these are all done with alcohol markers and a white Posca. And those were really fun to do too. So there's a few different ways to do it. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that I would approach them. We're going to do some small gems, some big gems, and yeah, and we're going to use a variety of materials today. So I'm not going to use alcohol markers probably because the other gemstones and stuff that I have are all double-sided pages. But the technique will be very similar. The only big difference is with the alcohol markers, I applied a lot more white Posca or white gel pen to it to make it look sparkly. Although I could probably do that same technique with my pencils as well. Okay, so let me get my page out that I want to start working on, and we will get started. Okay, if you have been following along with the alphabet series, you might recognize these cute little buggies. And I said that maybe I would do this little gemstone, so we're going to do this one really quick. I'm going to be using Black Widows. I'm going to zoom you in so that you can see a little bit better. Hang on just a second. Okay, so that's a little zoomed in for you. And I have 3 different colors pulled, and it doesn't really matter, you know, what kind of colors you're doing. It's always a good idea to have 3 colors. So I have pulled Fire from the Cobra set, Deep Red from the Cobra set, and Burgundy from the Scorpion set. And I'm just going to see what I can do with these 3 colors. I tried to go with a red that was going to be reminiscent of these mushrooms down here. So we'll see how we do. So I'm going to start actually with my lightest color. And I am going to put a page behind my page. There we go. Okay, I'm going to do a light layer of the burgundy. Nope, the fire everywhere. Pretty light. Then I'm going to come in with my darkest color, and I'm going to kind of shade where Hanna Karlzon has already drawn like these little lines. So I'm going to concentrate my darkest color right in that area. Do the same thing all the way around. And then on this side, I think I'm going to concentrate my dark color along the inside edge. And then again on the top, just right where she's added that line. Okay, and then I'm going to use my next darkest color, which is the deep red color that I grabbed. I'm coloring right over top of what I just colored. Changing that tone a little bit to a little bit more of a red tone instead of that purpley. And then last, I'm going to take my fire and we're going to go over the whole thing. And these are all not heavy pressure. Okay. And for these ones, it's just, and I can go back in and add a little bit more dark if I would like to. With gemstones, it's nice to think about the fact that each of these little facets is going to just look a tiny little bit different because the light reflecting through them is always going to cast a shadow in a different spot. So that's a nice way to kind of remember how to, you want to vary your shading. Okay, so the next thing that I typically do with my gemstones is I'm going to use a white Posca or a gel pen or something of that sort, and I'm going to add highlights. So I'm actually going to go right over the lines that Hannah's drawn in here. And then I'm also, I think, going to, I'm going to outline the gem. Okay. And then I think once that dries a little bit, we might be able to go back and tone it down just a little bit because that's pretty white. Hang on just a second. All right, it's had a little bit of a chance to dry. And then on the lines in between, I'm just going to very lightly, well, maybe I didn't let it dry long enough. There. Okay, so you still want some of the highlight to be there. And then it's always fun sometimes to draw like a little starburst, a little shine on it. So to do that is I pick a point. Let's pick like this corner right here. So I'm going to put my Posca down and then I'm going to pull upwards and kind of lighten my pressure as I move upwards. And I'm going to do the same way. I'm going to pull downwards this time. So you can kind of see it's thicker at the top and thinner at the bottom. And then I'm going to do the same thing going sideways, one to each side. And that one didn't do okay. And then I'm going to go kind of at a diagonal. And that just creates a little starburst, a little shine. So that one was a pretty simple one. So we are going to go ahead and move on to the next one. One of the best books to find jewels in is, of course, Jewelry Box. So there is actually a whole page that I marked. I'm going to get to that page right here where we've got all kinds of different jewels that you can just try out. So I am going to grab some colors. I'm not sure what colors I want to go with today, but I am going to work with Prismacolors in here. Let's do, I've got some pinks and purples on this side, so we could do some of those on this side as well. We're going to do, we're going to do a diamond. Let's do an emerald. I know that that's not pink or purple, but an emerald. I don't know what else. Let me think on that for a second. So when I use my Prismas, there it is. Sorry, I had to find my white. My favorite, my go-to things to blend are, of course, my white Prismacolor pencils, and then I always have some sort of white gel pen or white Posca pen or something to add shine. So if I'm going to do a diamond, let's say that I don't often color rings like that. Typically when you see a gem, it's going to be multifaceted like this, or, like this one over here in the mouth of the bird here. Yeah, let's do this one as a diamond. So when I do diamonds, I usually do blues or grays, cool grays. But I think today I'm going to do some blues. So we're going to need, I'm going to grab the cloud blue. which is PC1023. And I'm going to grab the Blue Violet Lake, which is PC1079. And one more. Let's grab the Cobalt Blue. There we go, Cobalt Blue. So I'm going to use these three. I am going to give them a quick sharpen, and then we'll get started. All right, so the same thing applies to these kind of gems as the last gem that we did. Each little facet, each little part of this is going to be a slightly different color. So again, it really helps to have three colors. So again, I will show you the colors that I pulled. So I've got Cloud Blue, I've got Blue Violet Lake, I've got Cobalt Blue Hue, and we're just going to go through and add some color here and there. I have no rhyme or reason to this. It's just kind of where I want the color. There are some tutorials out there online that you can find where you can, they'll tell you where the light's coming from and which facets would have that light reflecting back at them and how to, make this more realistic. This is, again, not so much a realistic tutorial as this is how I kind of make it look like a gemstone. So similar to my glass tutorial, if you had seen that one. So I'm going to start with the Cloud Blue, and I'm just going to grab I'm going to grab some sides of a few of these, and I'm just adding a little bit of color here and there. I want a little bit right here too. Okay, I'm going to do the same with the Blue Violet Lake. Now with this dark Cobalt Blue, that one is really only going to be reserved for a couple of areas, because I don't want this to turn into a, I don't know, a sapphire, I'm going to switch back to my Cloud Blue. I'm going to add a little bit of color. I'm not going all the way to the edge on this one. I'm going to add a little bit of color in the top and a little bit of color, in the bottom and then in the top. I was ahead of myself. And then I'm going to take this Blue Lake and kind of go along the outline where I added that color in. Again, trying to stay a little bit out from that white line. Okay, and then now with my Cobalt Blue, I'm going to add it to a couple of the places where I've got that darker blue color in the edges, where I think things would probably be darker. I am going to have one little segment here and there be a little bit darker. Just going to add a little bit there, and then let's do a little here. Okay. I'm going to come back through with that Cloud Blue again, dull down that. Cobalt just a little bit. Okay. Yeah. And now I'm going to take my white and blend and smush to my heart's content. And you'll notice some of the little spaces were left completely white, and that is on purpose because some of the facets would have reflected that light so much that it would have appeared to be completely white. I am going over all of the black lines in between the little facets as well. And that just kind of helps my Posca when I apply that here in a minute. Helps that Posca stay up on top instead of sinking into the paper. All right, what do we think of that? I might add a little bit more color here, a little bit more color there. teeny tiny bit right there. Okay. Yeah, I might kind of extend a couple of these, and this is me just kind of playing around, seeing what I think needs to have a little bit more color. I think it looks pretty good though. It looks pretty good. So then I'm going to take my white Posca. You could also use a gel pen if you prefer, and I'm just going to trace all of those little lines. Okay, and you'll notice this is not like completely whited out. There are some things, some spots where like the darker color shows through, and the white is more it's supposed to be like it's a highlight kind of color. It's not necessarily to delineate the spaces themselves, but to show the light that is reflected in between those spaces. And you can always come back in and add more color. But yeah, so there's my little diamond. Let us move over to this one. And I think for this one we will do, let's try an emerald or something close to resembling an emerald. That's the other thing about the gemstones, is you can really do whatever color you want. So even if mine is not remotely close to what an emerald actually looks like, it I can kind of make it what I want, you know. Okay, so I literally picked 4 random greens. We'll see how these do. So I have a dark green PC908, grass green PC909, light green PC920, and pale sage PC1089. Again, I need to give my pencils a sharpen, so I will be right back with you. Okay, so I'm going to start with the grass green, and I'm very lightly going to add this color because this can get pretty dark pretty quick too. So I'm going to grab just a few places here and there where I want that color to be. Same kind of thing that we did on the other one. I want some there. I think those little spots, I'm going to make those nice and white. I think. So we're going to add a little bit of color on this side here. And a little bit of color on this side here. Okay, where else? Right here would be good. We're going to color that whole thing in there. We're going to color this one all in. Okay. I'm going to grab this is my light green, and again, I'm just adding color randomly. Okay, let's do a little bit here. Dark green, we're going to do, this one is going to be all dark. This one down in the corner is going to be dark. Yeah, these ones I don't want to do quite as many. I don't want to do a whole ton of dark ones. So and I might come through with the light green and lighten up that dark green just a little bit. Okay, what do we think? I think I will use this pale sage in a couple of places. Okay, add a little bit more in here. Pale sage again. All right, then we're going to take the white. You want to make sure that you clean off your white in between colors so that you don't accidentally get blue in your green or green in your blue, or, you know, transfer those colors over. So now I'm just going to use the white over everything. And again, I'm going to be smushing as much as possible. That's one of the fun things about these Prismacolors is the smushiness. Okay, I have another spot there that I need a little bit more color. So I'm going to leave that without the white for a second so that I can add that color in there. This time I kind of went around the outside of this whole gem, and now I'm going to go in and blend in that middle section. Okay. All right, I'm going to use this dark green to fill in this little space here. I'm going to use this light green to fill in this one. There we go. Yeah. And then we're going to do grass green in this corner. So then you can go back in and add a little bit more color depending on what you want. So this really isn't an emerald so much as like a peridot kind of. And sometimes you know, once you have that color down, you realize that you've missed the mark a little bit, but that's all right, because you can come in and add color back in even after you add that white. And then you can blend things out and you can make them look nice and gem-like. I don't know what it's like you can see that it's got like some of the fragments or that texture in there when you go back and add the colors back in and blend it back out, because you can kind of pull that dark color and make it look like it's got those lines in there. Let's see, we want a little bit more color in these guys. A little bit down here. Okay, I feel like that's a good one. I'm going to add this pale sage a few more places. All right, how do we feel about that? I think that's all right. So again, I'm going to take my white and I'm going to fill in all the lines, and then these little spots on either side of the gem I'm going to go ahead and add, I'm going to make those completely white. So I'm going to just trace all the lines. Oop, that is the wrong color. I grabbed the beige. Let's see if this will come right back off. Cool. Okay, I have the white now. Goodness. Okay, and then in the center here, I don't really like the way that that is super stripy, so I'm going to blend this out a little bit better with the colors that I've got here. There we go. I like that a little bit better. I did accidentally scratch some of that white off. Okay, so there is, I'm going to go ahead and add some green into this one because this doesn't have any color really. There is our green gem. I'm going to say that that one's probably more like a peridot kind of thing. And then, yeah, let's do this one at the top here. I'm going to make that some kind of something pink. Okay, so for this one up at the top, I have these three colors. I have Deco Pink, Magenta, and Hot Pink. So I'm going to start with the Hot Pink and figure out where I want my light to be kind of shining through. And then I'm going to just take a couple of stripes like that. I'm going to add that dark color just in the very corners of places, maybe just a couple of lines down that way. I'm going to use this rose pink, blend that out. Okay, and that one was really quick and easy. And I'm going to use just a little bit of white. Okay. Yeah, I feel like that one's done. I am going to go ahead and use my white Posca. So we're going to add a little bit of white there. And then a couple of lines. Yeah, you can always add in like little texture lines like on this gem too. If you wanted to, you could add in like a couple of stripey lines like that in the corners, however, wherever you wanted to add them in. It's hard to see them on the diamond, but you could do it on there as well. So, okay, so there are 3 different gemstones. I think they look pretty cool. Like I said, Prismacolors are my favorite way to color gemstones. And then we've got one more type of gemstone to color in. Okay, the last gemstones that we're going to color is going to be in Magical Dawn, and I've got these awesome guys. Now I picked these guys because they're on the larger side, so hopefully I'll be able to use my Inktense pretty easily on these ones. I do need to get some colors. I did not have that prepared, of course, because I am not prepared. Let's do some purples on this one. So the nice thing about these kind is that you can make anything that you want. So you want to make, I don't know, a tiger's eye, you could do that. It's all about just finding a reference photo and going from there. Or you can just use your imagination and grab whatever colors you feel like putting on this gem and go from there. So we're going to do some purple. So I'm going to grab a few different ones. So I've got dark purple, I've got mauve, and then I'm going to do some fuchsia. So I've got like a really dark purple, a mauve, which is like a medium purple, and then kind of a pinky purple. So when you have the gems like this, they tend to have a highlight right around in this area, depending on where your light is coming from. If your light's coming this way, then your highlight would be over here. If your light's coming this way, your highlight would be over here. It's all about where you think that the light is coming from. But a page like this, I would say it's coming straight at the page. So it's going to be this center part here is going to have it's going to have the lightest color. And I'm actually going to start with the purple. We're just going to do purple around the outside. And the nice thing about Hanna Karlzon's gems is she usually draws in the highlight for you. So you can just kind of, you don't really have to think about it too much because you're like, oh, well, the highlight's there. Done. Okay, and then we're going to do the pink. And I am going to leave the center part open. Okay. So let me grab my water brush. I've got my little towel over here, and I'm just going to I'm going to start in the center and work my way towards the outside, cleaning my brush off when needed. And remember, you can always come back in and add another coat if you need to. I do have to turn your book, so I apologize for that. Okay. more turn. There we go. Okay, and then this technique will work with all of your watercolor pencils, watercolors, all of that stuff. Okay, I'm gonna turn you right around again. Okay, so we'll give that a chance to dry and see how we did. I like that one. I might add a little bit of metal around the outside while this dries. I'll see it again in a second. Okay, while that other one's drying, I'm gonna go ahead and do this one really quick, and I've got some blues pulled. So I have iron blue, deep blue, and iris blue, and I'm going to do the same kind of thing where I'm just going to go around the outside with the darkest color, then the next lightest, then the next lightest, and leaving that space in the center open. And again, I'm going to start in the center and just work my way out from there. Okay, and you can see that I kind of messed up a little bit, so it's not as bright in the center as I would like, but that's all right. Wish I had a bigger section, but you can, I mean, you can really put any color that you want, especially if like the reflection is like a yellow color, a candle or something. So you would have a yellow highlight in the center instead of the white or the pink or, you know, whatever color that you have happened to put on there. Okay, is this dry yet? Are you dry? It's almost dry, so I'll be right back with you. All right, so this little guy is dry. This one is not yet, but I got a cute little gold one over there. So anyway, so after you get this part done, you come in with your Posca or your gel pen. You can cover up the line that she's put in there and extend it however you want. Add your own little flare. And there you go. And then I'm gonna clean that up a little bit because I made a mess. Okay, so that's really it. I think this might be a shorter video. Actually, is this dry? Oop, not dry. Shoot. Well, that's a bummer. There we go. Fixed it, sort of. Huh. That's okay. I'm going to just go ahead and add in the highlight here. But you can kind of see she's drawn in the little things there for you. So there's the last couple of gems. What else did we do today? We did those guys. We did... oh, no, we didn't do this one. Here's another example, and I'm not gonna go through it, but it's very similar to what we did with the other faceted gems, where you just put the darker colors in certain areas, leave white highlights around where you want. I've not outlined this one in white Posca yet, but I will be doing that once I've got this page done. But I think this one will be really pretty with these pink gems that are taking the place of the strawberries. So we did that one. We did this guy, this little red one here. Where is the other one we did? I found it. And we did these guys. So I think that's it for today. I hope that helped. Just a few different ways. If you're also interested in how to do like crystals and things, I do have a how I color crystals video out there. And it's very similar again to like the faceted gems and things like that. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching today. And I think the next one is K. K is for keys, so we'll be doing keys next time. And again, we've got lots of fun books with keys in them. So it does kind of seem like all I'm doing is coloring in Hanna Karlzon and Johanna Basford, but they just have so many. I have all of their books, and they have so many different kinds of pictures. So that's probably going to happen. If you guys have an artist that you'd like to see, you know, if a specific artist or a specific thing from a certain artist that you would like to see colored, let me know in the comments. I have so many books. I probably have some kind of sample that I could do. But yeah, if you look at the list of alphabets and you know that this artist has this kind of picture and you know you'd like some help with it, let me know in the comments. All right. So one more time, this is it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.